Most people assume that if you have ADHD, you're just very hyperactive and you have all this energy. But that's not true, especially when you're an adult and you have ADHD. We end up reaching burnout. And I want to explain to you why you actually are tired all the time with your ADHD. Hi, I'm Dr. LeGrand and I have ADHD and dyslexia, and I want to explain to you really why are you experiencing being tired all the time when you have ADHD. There are several reasons of why this can be happening. One is when it comes to ADHD, we have a tendency, myself included, not doing the best when it comes to our diet and the things that we actually choose to eat, and we have that tendency to have a poor diet. Not only that, we are poor at organizing, so because we're poor at organizing and actually planning, we tend to make poor eating decisions, and so therefore having a poor diet will lead into definitely more deficiencies of the right nutrients that we do need, and this can lead into fatigue and having low energy, which leads into one of the biggest reasons of why people with ADHD can end up being tired all the time. One is that they can have a tendency of having iron deficiencies. So having a poor diet can also lead into having iron deficiencies, and something very common that we see in research that people with ADHD can be anemic. Not having good levels of iron can lead into symptoms such as fatigue, brain fog, as well as irritability. So adults with ADHD have an increased risk of having low levels of iron, something you need to be mindful and something that you probably should test for. Another contributing factor of why you might be tired all the time with your ADHD is because of having vitamin B12 deficiency. Something that we see a lot with people with ADHD, and a lot of research has shown this, because vitamin B12 is a critical type of vitamin that not only is important for the production of red blood cells, but is also very critical for a lot of things in the nervous system, especially our neurotransmitters that are very important with ADHD. But it also can lead into fatigue because it is such an important type of vitamin for the production of a lot of different cells as well as the nervous system, and this is why you might be feeling tired all the time. Another big component that can contribute to feeling tired all the time is having magnesium deficiency. Something that we see a lot in research of people with ADHD tend to be more magnesium deficient than the average person. And magnesium is an important type of electrolyte that is important for a lot of the cell generation, a lot of for also neurotransmitter, as well as helping with functioning of muscles and the nervous system. This is why you can actually feel more fatigued when you have low levels of magnesium. Now, another big component of why you might be feeling tired all the time with your ADHD is because people with ADHD, especially adults with ADHD, will have a tendency to have issues with sleeping, whether that is having a difficult time falling asleep or staying asleep. Having that good quality of sleep can really impact not only your ADHD health, but also can contribute to definitely fatigue, but also can contribute to having your focus throughout the day, as well as lack of clarity of mind. Now, if you're someone that actually takes medications for your ADHD, this can also be a really big component of causing you feeling tired all the time. There's actually symptoms of some ADHD medications that can cause fatigue, but on top of that, medications can also disrupt your sleep. And if it's disrupting your sleep, that is also going to contribute to you feeling tired all the time. Something you definitely have to be mindful when you're taking medications. If you need further help with your ADHD and really want to find a natural way of helping and treating your ADHD, then you should download my free ADHD guide in the description below. Now, feeling tired all the time because of our ADHD, there's a lot of things that come in place of having the poor sleep, lack of nutrition, organization, and this really comes down to having poor time management. Having poor time management can contribute to us feeling tired all the time because we're not very good at managing our time, which can contribute to having more stress, which that also can contribute to having more fatigue. And then on top of that, having poor time management can contribute us going to bed later and also not getting good quality of sleep. And then of course, not planning around getting good exercise as well as nutrition and the other things that we need to implement. Now, something that's really interesting when people feel tired all the time, when I'm seeing clients and patients and they're having this issue, one of the biggest components is also stress. In fact, about 50% or plus of people with ADHD will tend to have also anxiety, and stress and anxiety definitely can contribute to fatigue. Something that research actually shown also on top of people with ADHD and feeling tired all the time is they have a higher tendency to have issues like irritable bowel syndrome and a lot of different digestive issues. And when you have significant digestive issues, guess what? You're not getting the proper nutrients for your body. And if you're not getting the proper nutrients, you're going to feel tired all the time. So if you don't address your digestive functionality by looking at what could be contributing to it, then this can be the root cause of why you feel tired all the time with ADHD. Another contributing factor that can cause people to feel tired all the time with their ADHD is people with ADHD can also have a lot of different food allergies, and that can contribute to causing a lot of digestive issues, but also inflammation throughout the body. One of the symptoms of food allergies is having low energy because there's inflammation going on in the body, and this also can impact your digestion, which then we've talked about before, how digestion not working properly doesn't get you the proper nutrients throughout your body, so you're going to have symptoms such as fatigue. One of the biggest components that I see of why you might be experiencing feeling tired all the time, something that I've definitely experienced, is dealing with my cortisol. Having low cortisol levels where your adrenals are shot, you reach burnout, and you aren't functioning properly. I did some testing on myself. I've done this on a lot of different patients, clients clients of mine that have ADHD, where their cortisol levels tend to plummet. If they're plummeted, that means that you need to be addressing those, and having low cortisol levels can explain a lot of why you feel tired all the time with your ADHD. Now, speaking of hormones, one of the other big components that can explain why you are feeling tired all the time with your ADHD is maybe your thyroids are off. Maybe you do have a thyroid problem, because what's interesting is a lot of thyroid symptoms can present like ADHD symptoms. And if you only got diagnosed with ADHD, but you never got your thyroids checked, something you should probably look at, especially if you have a combination of ADHD and also feeling tired all the time, maybe you're constipated all the time. These are also similar symptoms to having hypothyroidism, something you definitely should check out. Now, there is some research that has suggested that insulin resistance tends to be more prevalent with people with ADHD, especially adults with ADHD, and this can contribute to definitely feeling tired all the time when your blood sugar levels are definitely all over the place, and you hit those highs and those lows, those crashes, especially when you have insulin resistance. You hit those crashes with, depending on how your diet is, you're definitely going to feel more fatigued and tired all the time when your blood sugar levels are off. Now, if you really want to know how can you actually treat your ADHD naturally, then you should watch this video next so you know exactly what to do when it comes to treating your ADHD.